Sunday morning, just before 10 o'clock, just heading over to Morrison's to see if I can get any deals. The last of the minus temperatures has gone. We're now going to have a week of, it's going to be like 7, 8, 9 degrees during the day and slight plus temperatures at night, and blue sky, sun, and it feels comparatively warm compared to how it has been. After this I'm going to go over to Sainsbury's because a fun thing happened. So the day after I contacted Nectar to tell them that all my points had been nicked, I had an email from them saying that they've issued me a new card number, and if I go to the app, the new card number will be on the app, and all my previous things have been restored. So I went in, new card number, all my points back, kept all of the my saved purchases and things like that. All great, sorted. So I can go down to Sainsbury's and get the things that I need, that I want to buy with Nectar points. And it's such a gorgeous day today, there seems no reason to be stuck indoors. So let's see what I can get in Morrison's. It's not been very good, and I don't think the snow has helped. I think the shelves have looked pretty bare this week, and I think that probably some of the deliveries haven't made it. Everything's been slowed up, so we'll see if there's anything. Not sure. It's been very slow so far this year. I've got a few bits. I've already done a few of the bits that I've got, the most interesting stuff anyway. What I really want now is veg. Veg is the thing I am short of. So let's get in. They open shortly and we'll see what we can get. Not very much in Morrison's. I spent £2.92. I got two, I think they were the 1 kilogram tubs of stalk margarine because I'm getting quite low for baking, and 2 bags of parsnips for 41p each. And I think the margarine was £1.05 for each, but they were £3.50. The price of marge has gone up unbelievably. And that was all they had. You know when you go around a supermarket and you can see where people have changed their mind about something in their basket and they put it on the first shelf they see? Well, I last went into Morrison's on Thursday, and when I went in there this morning there were things that had been put on shelves that they didn't belong on, and they were still there. The condition of that store is starting to drop. The new manager I don't think is very good. It's probably got something to do with the basic management. You know, they got sold off a while back, and I think that at the beginning when they first got sold off they did loads of good stuff. So they put in all the new freezer sections and they upgraded a load of sections, and since that last manager, the really bossy manager, left, it's just going downhill badly. It just looks tatty, you know. There will be those crate things they have on wheels to get everything around, and you'll be in the store and there'll be kind of stacks of cardboard boxes and crates of stuff that hasn't gone on the shelf yet, and I don't know whether they're short staffed or they just don't care anymore. Anyway, now I'm going to Sainsbury's because it's beautiful out and I just want to get things done. All fun at Sainsbury's. My Nectar card didn't work, so I had to pay for the shopping. I thought it might be because my smart shop, I use the basket thing, the basket app. Maybe it's not linked, but then I tried to scan it manually at the counter and it doesn't work either. And then a 3 for 2 offer that I wanted apparently isn't a 3 for 2 offer, because even though they have 3 for 2 strips right across the price board, you have to look at the individual prices. So I put all that back. I'm going to start again. It's just too complicated. And I went to customer services to get a refund on the bits that I had bought that were not 2 for 1, or 3 for 2, sorry. And she said that she had her Nectar card hacked last year. And even though I've got my new card number on the app and all my points have been restored, etc., it takes... Oh, thank you. Just got run over on a pedestrian crossing. It takes about a week for everything to register, and I think it was Thursday or Friday, wasn't it, when that happened? And she said give it a few more days and it'll probably work. So you get one of those days when you just want to just go home and start again. Today I'm going home and I'm starting again. So I have shopping. I had to pay for all the shopping. Never mind. I've put it on my credit card, which at least means I don't have to pay for it until December, because I've got that new 0% card until December. What a day. And the sun's gone as well. Let's get home. Far too complicated today. Been keeping myself busy this week. I've been working on that first batch of candle jars, so I've managed to complete another one. That's one with a lid. It's pretty good. That one's ready to go. And I did make some candles the other day. Spent yesterday making little votive candles. I found these little candle holders. I was been clearing out, decluttering, so I was pulling out the small candle jars that I thought I could decoupage and then sell on, and bin the rest of it because they weren't very good. And I found a set of 3, and so I've covered them as well with that pink floral. So I have a matching set of 3, and I have been starting to upload pictures and video, and writing descriptions so that I can start listing them. So I'm going to start by putting them on Etsy, and then I think I'm probably going to add a new section in my Shopify store so I can sell them there as well, because you know, other places. But we'll see how we get on. Just staying focused on doing productive things. And of course I've planted my seeds, and I've made a couple of extra videos. There's a making of for candle things, which is coming up later this, actually it'll probably have come out just before I post this. My chronology's all over the place again. I've been listing other stuff on Vinted and on eBay, selling, decluttering. Let's, you know, even though it's January and they call it the most depressing month because it's a 5-week month between paydays, everyone gets paid early for Christmas and then blows all the money on Christmas and then has no money. And I have to say, actually, outside the streets have been really quiet. People have not been going out to the pub. or out on the Friday and Saturday nights as they normally would, because everyone's holding on for that first payday of 2025. So yeah, so it's been it's a bit of a mess in here. This, oh my god, look at all the packaging stuff I've got, and you can see it. There's packaging. It's just everywhere. So I'm kind of slowly decluttering. I'm seeing some nice gaps, which makes me really happy. I want the gaps in all the stuff. And I have loads of jars that I need to cover. So I've got this one. I've got one of those big Kenko jars. That's a massive one. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller jars. One is a Yankee Candle, one is a small coffee jar, and 2 are jars without lids. And I'm just waiting for those new papers to turn up, and I'm hoping they're going to be okay so that I can start covering those jars. And once I've got this set of votives and that white floral jar photographed and uploaded and finished, because I've still got a second coat on this, then I'm going to publish those listings so that hopefully people can start buying stuff. I don't expect any miracles for January, but at least it gets things into the system, and oh God, at least it feels productive. The snow has gone, the frost has gone, we are back into plus temperatures. It's 9 degrees today, and boy does that make a difference. I haven't done too badly actually, because I've got my thermal pyjamas and my sushi hoodie and my hot water bottle. I have not done too badly. So as soon as those minus temperatures went, I stopped putting the heating on. So I haven't had the heating on for the last couple of nights, and I've been absolutely fine. I think it's probably about 12 degrees in the flat today, and boy have I toughened up over the last 6 years since I've been here, and I feel absolutely fine. So look, normally I'd be in my sushi hoodie over the top of this, but I don't need it now. I've got one long layer on underneath, like a little slightly fluffy layer, and then my big yellow fabulous batwing jumper over the top, and I'll be fine. And I've got my my walking pad, so if I start to feel a little bit chilly, just get on there for 20 minutes and boost the old temperature. And I found I re-downloaded one of the apps that I used to use, which is when you get paid for walking, and it's called WinWalk. There was another one called Cashwalk, and I stopped using that one because it stopped working on my phone. And I wasn't getting that many steps in, to be honest with you, because this is like way before I had the step counter. And I went to try and reload it, and it's only offering it for the US and Canada. So I don't know what's going on there, but I've reloaded WinWalk. Now, you can't earn money for walking on WinWalk. You get shopping vouchers, and you get all different stores. And that's where I used to get all my Tesco gift cards from. So I had a look, and it looks like you can earn a £5 for every 7,500 steps. If I'm doing between 10 and 13,000 a day, we'll see how long it takes them to catch up on that, because what usually happens is you'll walk for a bit, you'll get a couple of cash outs, and then they'll raise the number of points that you need to cash out on. So I thought, well, if I'm walking all those steps now because of my walking pad, I might as well try and turn it into actual money again. It's just an app on the phone. It's not, I don't have to do anything that I'm not already doing to earn that. So I'm going to give that a go. In terms of surveys, I'm just doing the usual thing. I found a new app called Appino. I think it's called Appino, something like that. And you have to earn quite a lot of points, but you get a bigger cash out. So you earn points and you cash out at a tenner. So I'm giving that one a go, because 1 or 2 of my other apps aren't doing very well beginning of the year. So I'm just staying focused. And it's Tuesday today, so tomorrow I'll have a 3-hour clean, so tomorrow we'll be busy. In fact, I've got my 2-hour clean this evening, and I'll be popping over to Morrison's. What was I doing yesterday? So I did made the candles yesterday, made a loaf of bread. I was watching Rewilding Jude, and he was making a loaf of bread, and I thought, you know what, I haven't made a loaf of bread in ages. So I made a loaf of soda bread, and it was lovely. I always cut the first bit off straight out the oven and put some like butter on it, and just, it was lovely. And I had some of that pate on it, which was really nice. And I've still got some of that sloe berry curd in the freezer, so I'm going to get some of that out, let that defrost and have that, because I don't have any dessert stuff in at the moment. So anyway, that's me waffling. This is Tuesday, so the last couple of days have been really busy. So the rest of Sunday and Monday was busy. Kept myself very occupied. It feels productive, it's good for my mood, and it keeps me busy. I don't feel like I'm wasting any of my days, but the days are so short. So when it gets dark, I kind of shut off to work. But what I've noticed now is that because it gets dark pretty early, you know, it's like 4ish, something like that. And normally I would kind of shut down for the evening. Then I'd start doing stuff on the computer, sat on the sofa with the blanket on me and the TV on. And I keep wanting to get up and do stuff. So last night at about 9:30, I ended up getting up and just getting back on the treadmill because I couldn't sit still. I can't not do anything for that long. So I think, you know, once those new decoupage sheets turn up, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more candle jars to do, I think I'm going to start breaking it up a bit and doing some of it in the evening, because I'm just like, I've got ants in my pants. I can't sit still. I'm a bit like that anyway. So even if I'm watching something on TV that I want to watch, I'll be up and down. I'll nip off to the loo, or I'll make a cup of tea. I can't sit still. I'm always up doing something, or, you know, very often when the TV's on, I'm doing something in the background. Usually I'm taking surveys, or I'm just looking something up on the internet. And I can't. It's like a not very effective way of multitasking, and I just can't stop at the moment, which is good because I have the motivation to get up and do, and I'm grabbing that while I can. Planted my seeds, so spring's coming. Not quite yet, it's still the middle of January, but before you know it, the signs of spring will start appearing, and I will need to get outside and do a bit of tidying up outside. I haven't pulled up many of the dead plants because we had that cold snap. I left everything so that all the creatures that are hiding in the soil and might be hiding amongst the dead leaves aren't disturbed and die. But it's not going anywhere, you know. And today it's just wet. We have rain and heavy cloud today, so it's quite dark, but I still feel quite buoyant. I'm having a better routine at the moment, so I'm doing my normal morning routine, and then before I get started on worky type stuff, I get on the treadmill for half an hour, like I'm doing a walk to work kind of commute, and it's helping to just blow out the night's cobwebs and help me get going in the morning. So, right, going to finish these votives, and I'm going to photograph this for Etsy. And what else am I going to do? Oh, I need to waterproof my hiking boots. I cleaned them up, sorted them. They need waterproofing. And actually, I need to talk about what my plans are for hiking and car camping this year. I already know what I'm doing for my first car camping trip. I don't know when it will be. Might be April, probably more likely May, because I want to go back up to Scotland. I know where I want to go. It's a place I've seen on somebody else's car camping video. It's a proper little car camping type. It's a car park rest stop for overnight car campers and people in motorhomes, so it'll feel safer. And it's very close to Dumfries, so I want to go to Dumfries and have a little walk around. There's free car parks for parking there, and there is a wetland trust nearby, so I might be able to go and do a little bit bird watching. So that's that kind of planned. I've got all my bookmarks on my Google Maps, so that's excellent. And I'm planning something different for hiking this year. So I did sections of the Pennine Trail last year, and then I was watching I was watching Countryfile last year, and they were doing a piece on a woman who was part of the movement to start rambling, and she was in the Peak District, and so to commemorate her, they took all the peaks, or all the high points and the trig points and things that were part of her routes. I think this is how it worked. And they've set up an app, and there are 95 of them. So you set up the app, and then you can go to whichever point you want to walk to, and it gives you maps, directions, and all that sort of thing, and you can do it, and then you can tick it off of the app to say you've done it. There are 95 of them, and this woman's name was Ethel, and I have forgotten the rest of her name. I will put stuff there because I did find some information on her. And so they've called this app Ethel Ready, and you can hike the 95 Ethels, which I thought was rather fun. So I think, because I'm quite close, it's no more of a distance for me to drive there than it is to get to places on the Pennine Trail. And I probably will still do the Pennine Trail this year. I loved walking up on the moors. The Lancashire moors particularly, I really loved. I want to go back up and see the red grouse again. And I don't really like revisiting the same places, but there are one or two places I'd like to go again and do slightly different routes. But I think I'm going to do the Peak District. It's a little more touristy, so there are certain ones I'm going to avoid, like the lower end near Snake Pass and all that, because that's where everybody goes. I want to go to the places where nobody goes. So that's something else that I'm in the midst of planning, and that's great because that's giving me things to look forward to really over the next 4 or 5 months, because the weather's not great yet. You can't go hiking yet, at least I wouldn't, and I'm not experienced enough to cope with the weather and all that sort of thing, so I'd rather wait until it's safer for me to go, and I'll enjoy it more. I don't want to get rained on. I don't want to be up to my knees in mud, but I can spend this time planning. So as I go along and make those plans, I will add some of that here. And then, of course, I'll do the hiking videos throughout the year as I do the actual trips as well. I was going to set up a hiking channel to move the really long videos onto their own like niche site. And I tried to set that up over Christmas, and I can't do it. You can only use your phone number to set up or to be verified with Google so many times. So I have 2 YouTube channels, and I used to have a third which has gone now, but I think I've used one of my cards, so to speak. And I started to set up this channel, and then it said, no, you can't have this. So it took it down. So I'm going to have to keep putting the videos here. So again, there will still be amongst the playlist. So if you want to find hiking videos, go to the hiking playlist. If you want to find day in the life, go to the day in the life playlists. If you want financial advice, go to the advice playlist. I break it all up to make it easier because I do talk about different things. It's not the same stuff every single time. Hope that makes some sense. So I'm going to get on with my day. Yep, stuff to do, busy, stay focused, and then I will break for lunch. So I've just had my energy bill through for January, and I'm just doing a comparison to last January. So last January, my energy, and that's dual fuel because I use gas and electric, my kilowatts per hour for electric was 54. My gas was 169 because we'd had that really horrible cold spell at the end of last year. That cost me in full for everything £39.18. So this January, I have used 46 kilowatts per hour of electric, so that's less. And I've used 124 kilowatts of gas, which is even less. And it's cost me £45.36. We're getting even less for our money than we were before. And most of it is still standing charge. Don't you hate the energy providers in this country? I read somewhere, or I heard somewhere on YouTube or something, that we are the most expensive country in the world for energy. Why does that not surprise me? morning. It's Thursday. As you can see, it's a glorious sunny morning. So we've come out for a walk. It's very frosty, but that sun is gorgeous. I did my clean yesterday. I didn't have anything to talk about, so I didn't. Tuesday evening I did my clean and at Morrison's haul, which I did a quick bit of video on, but I don't have the motivation to do the Tuesday evening haul videos that I used to. The picture quality isn't that great because it's dark, and frankly by the time I get home at 7:30, 8 o'clock after I've done the clean, I haven't got the energy. So I think for Tuesday evenings for now, if there's anything worth reporting, you'll get pictures or a quick video of the food landscape. Anyway, so yesterday my downstairs neighbours decided to have a bit of a party, and it's just really annoying because people started turning up about 4 o'clock and they were still going at it at midnight. Really pisses me off because it's just so loud. Got no sound insulation in the flats, and it just ricochets up through the floors. So I was trying to watch that Louis Wayne movie last night. It's quite an emotional movie with some lovely quiet reflective moments, and all I can hear is screaming and shouting and laughing downstairs. I don't know how many people there were, probably less than 10, but they're a noisy lot anyway. I mean, in some ways I'm lucky because the previous neighbours were worse, but in different ways. At least with these guys, look at this. At least with these guys, they're out working 5 days a week. So for 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, I get silence, which I didn't get before. But when they're in, I mean, they come home from work about 8:30, and you know when they're in, there's doors banging, and I don't think they have conversations like this. It sounds like they're always shouting at each other from other rooms, from different rooms, and the doors banging just drives me insane. So they were going full pelt. They got about 10 o'clock, and I thought, this had better stop because I'm going to bed at 11 and you can hear it from right across the other side of the flat. So, and at 10 o'clock he texts me. So there's a couple downstairs, and we swapped numbers when we first moved in. Wish I hadn't, but I did. So at 10 o'clock he texts me, he goes, hello? I'm thinking, why? I didn't answer. I was like, why? And about 10 minutes later he called me, and I didn't answer because I thought, why? Just tell me why. And I didn't hear anything else. And as I say, it was still going at like midnight. I went to bed about 11:30 in the end. Really annoying. And I went to bed at 11:30. And I always keep earplugs handy. I've had to use them a lot over the years. So I put those in, and that That helped. The problem is when you know there's noise going on that you don't want to hear, you can hear it even through the earplugs because you're aware of it going on. But it wasn't too bad, and then I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet and all was quiet, so I took them out. But I suspect that given that downstairs haven't gone to work this morning, that they've probably had a bunch of people over to stay, which means that it's going to be noisy again today. So that's why I've come out. I have a request on Find a Grave, so I've come down to the cemetery, which looks absolutely gorgeous in the summer light with the frosty ground. So I've just come out to do that and just to chill a little bit. And when they're in downstairs and make a lot of noise, I just have to make more noise to drown it out. So I usually put YouTube on and get on my walking pad. That usually does the job. I might put a podcast on my phone. My new phone has really good speakers, much better speakers than my previous ones. It's a lot louder, which is handy. And I'm still waiting for the tissue paper to arrive for my next set of candle jars, so I can get on with that. But hopefully, I'm hoping it's going to arrive today, and then I can get cracking on that, and that will give me something to focus on. But I think it's going to be a noisy day. I wish I didn't have neighbours. I mean, I know that part of it is because of the building. You know, the walls and the floors are paper thin. There's no sound insulation at all. But you know, midnight on a Wednesday night, if I'd had to be up really early or something, that would have just driven me insane. And if I was not as nice a person, I'd have been round there banging on the door, but I really don't like confrontation. So unless he says something first about it, I'm not going to, because that's just the way I am. I will put up with a lot before I snap. And getting into confrontations with neighbours is never a good idea. Everywhere I walk, that tractor is coming up behind me. It's really annoying. I'm trying to get away from it. Right, so I'm going to find this grave and then I'm going to have a little walk in the sun. So much sound out here. I can hear woodpeckers, great tits, crows. I'm pretty sure I just heard a buzzard. This is the place to come if you just need to take a break from the noise. And I'm lucky that this is in walking distance of where I live. It's not a very nice walk, but once you're here, it's worth the walk, especially today. Some of the graves here are really sad. There was one I saw this morning, and it was 3 boys. I would presume all stillborn. And it was one after the other, 2012, 2013, 2014, with no ages on them. It's so sad. And there was another one for a baby who has survived 77 days. And he's been gone 10 years now. And his grave is huge. It is absolutely huge, and it's absolutely covered in toys and things. And they clearly celebrate his birthday every year, because it's got a birthday 10 badge on it, and the toys and things that are on the grave are for like a 10-year-old. And it's really sad because they had 77 days. But there are lots of pictures of him up on the grave, and it looks like he was very premature. So it was a short life, probably spent in hospital. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, I'm just going to do a loop of the old part of the cemetery. And then I'm going to head back, because it's pretty cold out here. Some of the graves here are very old. So there's one here that's... the last burial looks like it was in the 1920s, and there are still people putting flowers down. It's just rather intriguing. And there are lots of graves with Christmas decorations on them. I went past a shop this morning as I walked out, and it's almost like a garden centre, and there are loads of Christmas trees standing out the front with Christmas trees for sale signs up. So all these poor trees that all got hacked down for Christmas are now just going to go straight into the rubbish. Seems a terrible waste. I'd never have a real Christmas tree because it just seems like such a waste. And one of the neighbours dumped their Christmas tree out on the main path 2 weeks ago, and the bin men haven't taken it. It's still sitting there, so that's a nice view from my windows. Oh dear. Oh, it feels cold. It feels colder at this end. The sun hasn't quite hit down here yet. Very brisk. Look at the trees. The parakeets. Ringneck parakeets are quite literally everywhere now. We get the gold crests here, though I don't think we're going to see any today. It's too cold to be standing still for a while. lovely tree background. Back into the sunshine. Hear that? There's a nuthatch. That's parakeet. Oh, I see you. They're pretty cute. He's watching me. They're chattering away to themselves. As of recording this, we are just over halfway through January already, and I'm already thinking, am I doing enough to get this year off to a positive start? I've done all the things on my checklist, but now that I've done them, it doesn't feel as momentous. I haven't made any great changes. Everything's still the same. And pretty soon it'll be February and things will still be the same. And I think that we do forget that things take time, you know? You have to be patient. You know, we've all started the year off going, oh, I'm going to make changes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And the thing is that when you don't get the results you want at great speed, you then give up. And you have to remember not to give up. Things do take time. Changes don't happen overnight. Building good habits takes a long time. And although I've put most of mine into place now, it'll take time for the results to come through, you know? If you're doing things like maybe you want to get fitter, eat better, you won't see the results of that in 2 weeks. You might see some results in 2 months, 4 months, a year. Doing it right means taking your time so that they are habits that stay with you. I'm trying to be more motivated, trying to shift away from the scarcity mindset that I've talked about, where I just think, well, what's the point in being in business? No one's got any money. But then there obviously are people with money, and it's a case of finding them. And I've started to make inroads into that, just in terms of making new things, starting new product lines, increasing what I have to offer. But I also need to work on, right now, how am I going to direct this at the people that do have the money? Where am I going to advertise myself? And I said I was going to do better with Instagram. I haven't yet. I am also thinking about shutting down all my Facebook, because I have a Facebook business page that it's linked to my WordPress, so things are always being posted up there, so it looks like an active site. But when I go in, it doesn't happen very often, and I'll go in and be like, oh, you've got a load of messages, and you'll go into the messages and it's all phishing, it's all scamming, it's all people pretending to be potential customers but just looking for information. There's a lot of that. So I just have an out of office put on there saying, if you have a query, here's my business email address, contact me direct. And nobody ever does, and they're all dodgy. You know, I had one that was someone pretended to be a customer looking for information, etc. And I went into her profile and had a look, and it says she works for Amazon. What the dickens is going on? They're all business people with their own businesses looking for, I don't know, maybe they think that I'm successful. So I got really fed up with that. So I just populate the page with links, and I do the same with LinkedIn. They're all linked to my WordPress blog, so whenever I do those, and I do at least a couple a month, so they get posted up there. And anything that I post to Instagram, I think, also appears on my Facebook feed, because Instagram and Facebook are the same. But with all the stuff that's going on at the moment with, you know, Zuckerberg's just pledged his allegiance to Trump by, you know, they're going to take off all the managed settings, so that, like you can on Twitter, you can now just say whatever you like, and they just don't feel like nice places. Facebook has been a horrible cesspit for quite a while. Instagram's just full of AI and adverts, and I feel like YouTube is it, really. And I like focusing on my YouTube. I have two. I have my little business account, which is, I'm enjoying. I like it because the pressure's off, because it's not monetized, so there's a different kind of pressure there, which is really just to promote myself as a business, in terms of, this is what I do behind the scenes, this is me making you stuff, this is me talking about business challenges and things like that. But then, you know, I'm not earning from that, so it's a different kind of pressure to stay online, whereas this channel is monetized and there's now an income stream, so there is a pressure on, because, you know, it's how I pay my bills. And that's the problem with when you get monetized on things, because if you then start to become reliant on that money, it then becomes a job and a duty. So it's a tricky one. I'm trying to scale back. I was posting every other day last year. I'm trying to rein that in, so I'm trying to post every second or third day. And I need to improve the content as well, so I'm trying to be less waffly. Here I am waffling, and be a bit more focused on the posts, because I'm thinking if I'm posting less but posting better quality, I will still get the numbers. Not seeing it yet, but as I say, it's only halfway through January, so I'm going to head home now, because I am really quite chilly, even with the sun out, because it's a winter sun. I'm going to head home, get a nice hot cuppa on. Downstairs will no doubt be noisy, so I'm going to have to drown that out until they all go. Anyway, off I go. home. The sun is going to be here all day, which is lovely. So it's quite warm. Might open a window and get some fresh air in. So when I got back, it was quite noisy downstairs. And then after I'd been back about half an hour, they've all gone out. And there were 6 of them downstairs. So now it's nice and quiet. And I'm going to get on and do stuff. I've got this video. This is now the end of my second week in the life video since I got back after New Year. And I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm just going to do the final edit, do the final watch through, edit that, get that up online. Still waiting for my decoupage papers to arrive. I really want to get cracking on that. But anyway, they'll arrive when they arrive. So that's the end of this video. I wanted this one to be shorter, but it's ended up being longer because of all the nature-y walk stuff I did this morning, which I thought was rather lovely. I didn't want to chop any of it out. So that's the end of this. Thank you for watching, as usual. Thank you for the people who have donated via PayPal and Ko-fi already this month. Hugely appreciated. I know January is a really hard month, so thank you so much for that. It does make all the difference. And I'm going to crack on and continue to be productive. So I hope you have a good, whatever you're doing when you're watching this, I hope you've had a good week. I hope you have a good week coming up. I hope the weekend's good. I hope the weather's not too cold, etc., etc. So I will speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.